Hello, welcome to tonight's webinar. This is an interactive online experience and we want to hear from you. You can participate by asking questions, answering poll questions, and completing interactive activities. The majority of our time will be spent answering your questions. Let's spend a moment getting to know this Q&A environment. On your screen, you'll see the video and slides window and their corresponding icons. Should you want to minimize either, you can just click the icon, and you can also resize each of the windows. You will also see a Studio Chat tab and button. That is where you can engage in conversation with fellow attendees. And most importantly, you'll see the Q&A tab. That is where you can ask us questions. All of our Q&As and webinars this year are accessible on computers, tablets, and smartphones, so you can even take us on the go. When you click on the resources icon, you'll find documents and other information that we'll mention during today's discussion. We'll also ask you to respond to some poll questions, which you'll see appear in the slides window. And at the conclusion of tonight's Q&A, please take a few minutes to complete our survey. It will automatically appear on your screen. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Common Scams to Avoid, Medicare Card Scam. My name is Kathy Stokes. I'm with AARP, and I'll be your host today. I'm joined in studio by Lisa Schifferle of the Federal Trade Commission. Welcome, Lisa.
Thanks for having me.
Today's Q&A is part of a three-part series focusing on common scams to avoid. During today's conversation, we'll discuss the Medicare Card Scam. Why are there new Medicare cards? What is the Medicare Card Scam? How to identify it, red flags, things you should be looking for, how to report it, and where to find free local and national resources to help protect yourself and your loved ones. We have a quick poll question for you today. Are you aware that you will receive a new Medicare card in the mail? Yes or no? You can select the answer that applies to you and then click on Submit. We'll give you just a few seconds to answer that. Okay, this is wonderful. 89% of you know that you're getting a new Medicare card, and maybe that's why you joined us today, because you want to hear what's going on with that. So that's right, new Medicare cards are coming. Medicare is mailing new cards beginning in May 2018. It was originally supposed to be in April, but they pushed it to May, and it's going to be going through April 2019. The new card has a Medicare number that's unique to you. So instead of your Social Security number, it's a unique number, and it will automatically come to you. So just make sure that Social Security has your most up-to-date address. For more information, you can visit go.medicare.gov/newcard. Let's watch a short video to learn more.
New Medicare cards are coming. Medicare is mailing you a new card between April 2018 and April 2019. Your new Medicare card has a Medicare number that's unique to you instead of your Social Security number. This will protect your identity and keep your information safe. Medicare will never ask you to give us personal or private information or charge you a fee to get your new Medicare number and card. And you don't need to take any action to get your new card. Just make sure your mailing address is up to date. If your address needs to be corrected, contact Social Security at socialsecurity.gov/myaccount. or call 1-800-772-1213. You can find more details about when cards are being mailed to your area at go.medicare.gov/newcard. Then, watch your mailbox for your new card to arrive. Once you get your new card, destroy your old card and start using the new one right away. New card, new number, better protection for your personal information.
On your screen, you'll see the new Medicare card rollout schedule. And I mentioned before that Medicare was originally going to start sending those out in April this month, but they'll actually begin in May. And you can go online to even request an email about the status of the card mailing in your area. Just go to medicare.gov/newcard. So what should we know about the new Medicare cards, Lisa?
The most important thing to know is that the new cards will be mailed automatically. You do not need to give any personal information to get your card, and you do not need to pay any money to get your card. So if someone calls claiming to be from Medicare, asking for your personal information, or asking you to pay for your new card, hang up. It's a scam. And when you get your new card, here's what to expect. The new card, like you said, will no longer have your Social Security number. Instead, the new card will have a unique Medicare number. It's a number that's a combination of 11 letters and numbers, and this is to reduce the likelihood of identity theft. Because the fewer places your Social Security number is, the fewer places it can be taken from and misused. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you get your new card, your Medicare coverage and benefits will stay the same. So you can start using your new card as soon as you get it. Doctors and healthcare providers already know that Medicare is replacing the old cards, and they're ready to accept your new card when you need care. Also, as was mentioned before, mailing takes time. It will take at least 1 year to mail all the cards. As everyone saw on the rollout schedule, the cards will be mailed in waves based on which state you live in. So cards are being mailed between May 2018 and April 2019. So that means don't worry if you don't get your new card right away. You can still use your current card until your new one arrives. Also, remember that the new cards are free. Do not let anyone ask you to pay for the cards. That's a scam. And if that happens, please report it to the FTC at ftc.gov/complaint. One more thing to know is that when you get your new Medicare card, destroy your old card. And don't just throw it in the trash, shred it. That way no one can find it and use your old card for identity theft. If you have a Medicare Advantage card though, keep that card. You'll still need that card for treatment. It's only your old Medicare card that you should destroy. To learn more about the new Medicare cards, you can visit go.medicare.gov/newcard. You can also email new Medicare card SSN removal at cms.hhs.gov if you have any questions or comments.
Thanks, Lisa. And a reminder to our audience, these slides are available for download. Just click on the resources folder. Also, you can ask a question at any time. Just click on the Q&A box. We're going to switch gears and talk about the Medicare Card Scam for a couple of minutes, and then we'll spend the rest of our time together answering your questions. So scammers are taking advantage of confusion that's around the new cards that Medicare is issuing, and we have a video for something that you can watch out for. Medicare cards will be much safer now that they will not include Social Security numbers. But not all beneficiaries will receive the new cards at the same time, causing some confusion and opening the door to scams. Beware of anyone who contacts you about your replacement Medicare card. The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services says that it will never ask a beneficiary to confirm a Social Security number or ask for money as a condition of getting a new Medicare card. For more information about this and other scams, visit aarp.org/FraudWatchNetwork. Well, Lisa, she looked familiar. According to a new AARP survey, more than 3/4 of Americans over age 65 know little or nothing about the federal government's initiative to replace their Medicare cards. And that does make people who don't know susceptible to scammers' intent on taking advantage of the confusion. So scammers posing as Medicare representatives have already been calling beneficiaries demanding a processing fee. Other fraudsters are telling beneficiaries that they are owed a refund from a transaction on their old card, and then they're asking for bank account information to process that reimbursement. Medicare will never ask a beneficiary for a bank account number, and no refunds are owed. More than half of respondents to AARP's survey said they might not be suspicious if they received a call, supposedly from Medicare, asking them to verify their Social Security number as a prerequisite to getting a new card. Medicare officials have emphasized that they will never call beneficiaries about the cards, which are being mailed out by the Social Security Administration. Lisa, what else can we do to avoid Medicare card scams?
You summed it up really well. The main things are do not pay money to get your card and do not give personal information to get your card. Those are the biggest scams to look out for. Another thing to keep in mind is to guard your card, like a credit card or other insurance card, because even though that card will no longer have your Social Security number, it still has a unique number that thieves could use to get medical services. So it's important to keep it safe.
Thanks for those helpful tips. A reminder, you can ask questions at any time. Just type it into the Q&A box on your screen. Let's take a look at some of the questions coming in from the audience. Let's see. Thomas says, I belong to a Medicare Advantage plan. I have never been asked to produce my Medicare card. What do I need it for?
You may just be asked to produce your Medicare Advantage card and not your Medicare card. So if that's the case, you can keep your Medicare card at home safely and not carry it around. The less you carry around personal information, the less you are at risk for identity theft. So even though these new Medicare cards won't have your Social Security number on them, only carry them with you when you really need to have them, and then keep them secure at other times.
Okay. So we also have a question from Glenn. He wants to know what he should do if he gets a call from someone that's pretending to be from Medicare.
Hang up. Hang up
Good
is
answer.
the big theme that we've been saying throughout. Don't try to play along or get any other information. And if you're not sure, you can call Medicare at 1-800-MEDICARE to check out what the person is telling you.
Okay. We have a bit of an off-topic question from Joseph. He wants to know how he can sign up for Medicare. And generally the way it works, Joseph, is that you're eligible at age 65 and you have a window of 3 months prior to that your birth month, during your birth month, and then 3 months after your birth month to sign up for Medicare. You can go on to Medicare.gov to get some more information about that. Catherine wants to know, how will I know when my new card is going to arrive?
Well, you can check that rollout schedule to get an approximate idea of when it should be coming for your state. But we also, in our resources section, will have a website you can go to check the status of your card and when it might be coming to you. Or you can always call 1-800-MEDICARE. When in doubt about anything Medicare related, call 1-800-MEDICARE.
And Diana wants to know what happens if the card is lost during mailing.
Well, I would, again, contact 1-800-MEDICARE and let them know. Of course, that could put you at risk for identity theft. And I know that Medicare and Social Security are taking a lot of precautions to try to make sure there is not any fraud in the mailing of the cards. So if it is lost, do call 1-800-MEDICARE and let them know right away so they can flag it and do whatever steps they decide to take in those instances. And you may also want to take precautions like putting on a fraud alert or even considering a credit freeze if you're concerned that someone else may have your Medicare card.
Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about what you can do if you find out that you're a victim of identity theft through the loss or someone stealing the card. We have one more question, then we'll go back to our programming from Connie. If my Medicare card gets lost, can I request a new one, and will there be a charge, and who do I request it from?
Again, 1-800-MEDICARE. 1-800-MEDICARE. If you remember two things from this webinar, is first, if you get a call, hang up, and second, if you have any questions, call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Okay, and I just wanted to remind you too that you can download these slides after our event, so you don't have to remember all of this stuff. It'll you can find the web links and things like that if you download the slides. So to learn more about how you can protect you and your loved ones from scams, visit aarp.org/MedicareScam and aarp.org/learn@50+. We'll discuss additional resources in a few moments, but in addition to Medicare card scams, there are other Medicare-related scams that we want to talk about that you should avoid. Lisa?
Yes, there are two main Medicare-related scams that we're seeing right now. The first one actually involves back and neck braces. And in this scam, someone calls you and offers you a free back or neck brace. And they say that Medicare will cover the cost, so it's free for you. But all you have to do is give them your Medicare number. So if you get a call like this, please hang up. Do not give them your Medicare number. It is a scam, and they'll just use your Medicare number for identity theft. Now, the other Medicare-related scam that we're seeing right now is one where a scammer calls and says they're from Medicare and they need to update their system. And they may say it's in order to get one of these new cards, or they may simply say they're just updating their system. And then they'll ask for personal information like your Social Security number, your address, and other identifying information. Again, please don't give it to them. Hang up. It's a scam. And both of these scams are what we call government imposter scams, which is just when someone pretends to be from the government. And then they either ask for personal information or they ask you to wire money or put it on a prepaid card. And again, I can't say this enough. If you get a call like this, please hang up. And now let's watch a short video from the FTC that tells the first-person story of a retired educator's Medicare scam experience and the FTC attorney who helped bring the scammers to justice.
A teacher was what I always wanted to be. I got my doctoral degree in early childhood education. My husband and I had a wonderful marriage, and I lost him in September of last year. I got a call from someone who indicated he was from Medicare. They told me that they needed my Social Security number, they needed my bank account number for new Medicare cards. I told them I was not giving them the information and hung up the phone.
There were thousands of consumers affected by this scam. They told consumers that if they didn't provide this information that they might lose their Medicare benefits, and they implied that that would happen pretty quickly.
They called back and I continued to refuse to give them the information, but they would transfer me to someone else who would give me the same pitch they were giving me. I just wanted them off the phone. I gave them the information they wanted.
These telemarketers are professionals. They know what buttons to push. They know what to say to get people to provide their information. If you receive a call from a government agency, be very skeptical. Government agencies don't call consumers to ask them for money. They don't call consumers to ask for personal information.
I think it is very important that all of us continue to learn about scams.
Because of consumer complaints like the one we received from Dr. Bowers, we were able to go into federal court, get a freeze on the defendant's assets, and shut the company down.
I was so glad to even hear that they did win the case and shut the people down.
A lot of these scams, like the one in the video, can lead to medical identity theft. So let's take a minute to talk about a few steps for you to follow if you think you've been the victim of medical identity theft. The first thing to do is to ask your doctor or medical provider for a copy of your records. You have a right to these records. You might have to pay for them, but you do have a right to them. Then once you have the records, take a look at them to see if there's any evidence of medical identity theft. You want to look for things like doctor's visits that you did not attend, maybe the thief went, or procedures that you did not have, again, maybe the thief had them, or medical information that's incorrect, because the thief's medical information could get merged with yours, and then, for example, the wrong blood type might appear on your medical records. Now, if you notice anything incorrect on your medical records, send the corrected record to your healthcare provider. And if the mistake in the record involved an insurance payment, make sure to send the corrections to your insurance provider too. And don't stop there. Follow up to make sure the record is corrected. If you have any problems getting a provider to correct your medical records, you can file a complaint with HHS's Office of Civil Rights. You may also want to check state law to see if your state provides any additional rights, and your state attorney general is a good place to start for that. Then, if you are a victim of medical identity theft, make sure you take these steps to prevent further harm. First, report medical identity theft to the FTC at identitytheft.gov. It will walk you through the steps to take to recover from identity theft, and you'll get an identity theft report which can help you clean up mistakes in your records due to identity theft. Identitytheft.gov will tell you to take steps like contact the medical providers where the ID theft occurred, then contact the credit reporting agencies like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It'll also tell you things like request a fraud alert, which is free and lasts for 90 days, or consider a credit freeze. That freezes your credit, so no one, including you, can take out new credit without using a PIN first to unfreeze your account. You may not want to place a credit freeze, though, if you're about to take out new credit yourself. Also, make sure to check your credit report at annualcreditreport.com. If all these steps seem a little bit overwhelming, don't worry. Just go to identitytheft.gov and it will walk you through them step by step and give you all the phone numbers and websites that you need. And now I'll turn it back to Kathy.
Thanks, Lisa. Just so you know, tonight is the third in a series of 3 webinars that we've held this week on scams. We did one on the IRS imposter scam earlier in the week. Actually, it was last week. And then Lisa and I were together a couple of days ago to do one about false and misleading advertisements, and you can find those in your resources folder. We're going to look through a couple more of your questions. One question is from Lynn: how do we know that the card we receive in the mail is legitimate? Are scammers sending out fake cards, or are they only calling people? From what I understand, we're not hearing anything about fake cards. Is that right, Lisa?
That's correct. At this point, we haven't heard anything about fake cards, but it certainly could happen. So a good thing to do is to check out one of our slides had a picture of what the new card should look like, and you can also go to Medicare.gov to see what the new card should look like, so you can make sure that what you're getting in the mail actually matches that and is a legitimate card. It will be a paper card. A lot of people have asked if it'll be laminated or not, but the legitimate card is a paper card.
Okay. A question from Aubin, I believe it is. How do you know a card is lost if you don't even know exactly when it was coming? Any email alert when it was sent? Good question, Aubin. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'll repeat it. If you go to medicare.gov/newcard, that page will allow you to put in your email address, and they'll email you to let you know when the cards are coming to your area. And I believe on that page is also the information on what the rolling schedule is on when those cards are going out. We have a question from Carolyn. She says that her son has Medicare due to being learning disabled. He's an adult, and it's under his deceased father's Social Security number. She says, however, he is at a different address than me. Will the card automatically go to him?
She may want to go check online at ssa.gov/myaccount and see what address is on file for that Medicare card to be mailed, to make sure it gets mailed to whichever address she actually wants it mailed to.
Okay, and if they wanted to make that a phone call instead of go online, the number again for Social Security is 1-800-772-1213, is that right?
That's right, 800-772-1213.
Okay. We have a comment from Theodora. She says, I keep getting a call from Fair Lawn, New Jersey that says it's Medicare, and I do hang up, but then they call another day. As with other scams, I tried everything to stop them, and they only change the number and call again. Do we have any advice for Theodora?
Well, a few tips is if you haven't signed up for the Do Not Call registry, you can sign up for that at donotcall.gov. You can also go to a site called nomorobo.com, that's nomorobo.com, to sign up to block robocalls. So those are 2 things you can do to try to reduce unwanted calls that might come in. And please do report it to the FTC with information like what she's given in her question about where the call is coming from. If we see a pattern, then we can track these things, and we do have law enforcement powers so that we and other government agencies can go after these fraudsters. So please do report it at ftc.gov/complaint.
Great information. Gerald wants to know, how would you know if your information has been used by someone else? And I can just tell you, Gerald, that a great way to keep track of things and find out if someone has misused your information to open an account in your name would be to keep a monitor on your credit report. And every year we can go to www.annualcreditreport.com, and we can request our reports from the 3 main credit bureaus. And you can even set it up where you ask for one to come at the beginning of the year, one to come in the middle of the year, and one to come toward the end of the year. So you sort of have an ongoing view into your credit report, and you'll be able to look through that and see if anything looks strange or if there's an account that's been opened in your name. And so I highly recommend it. Again, that's www.annualcreditreport.com. Let's see if we have some other questions here. Oh, Theodore came back to us and said she signed up. The no robo doesn't work on home phones. Is that right, Lisa? Are they only?
It can work on both home phones and cell phones, but it does depend on who your provider is. It does not work with all providers, so it is possible it may not work for hers.
Okay. And then Ryan, it's sort of the same question. If I sign up for Do Not Call registry, will they still call me? Well, Ryan, a scammer's not going to look at the Do Not Call registry, so it's not going to stop scam calls, unfortunately. But still sign up for it and try to protect yourself from some of the calls that are unwanted. Again, to learn more about how you can protect you and your loved ones from scams, you can visit aarp.org/MedicareScam and aarp.org/learn@50+. It looks like we're just about out of time this evening. Here are additional free AARP resources for you to learn more about Medicare card scams, plus federal government agency links from the FTC and from the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services in case you need to report a scam, learn more about new Medicare cards, or want to learn more about how you can keep you and your loved ones safe from scams. Lisa, can you tell us more about the FTC's resources, especially identitytheft.gov?
Sure. I've mentioned it before, but the FTC has a very helpful website at identitytheft.gov where people can report identity theft and get a recovery plan. The website's really user-friendly. It just asks you what happened, and then you'll get a personalized recovery plan with the steps you need to take. In fact, in most situations, your report will take the place of a police report, which can save you a lot of time and work. The site's also available in Spanish, too. You can also order all the FTC's publications for free at bulkorder.ftc.gov and feel free to share them in your community. Finally, please report frauds and scams to the FTC at ftc.gov/complaint or 1-877-FTC-HELP. Your reports help us target our law enforcement efforts to try to stop scammers and help us shape our consumer education to meet the current needs. And now I'll turn it back to Kathy.
Let's just squeeze in one more question. Catherine wants to know, is it okay to laminate her new card?
You can laminate your new card. I know that Medicare says that they made it paper because it's easier for providers to copy that way. It's also probably cheaper for them to do, but there's nothing that prohibits you from laminating your new card.
Okay. As a reminder, you can access all of the links, including to the on-demand version of this week's sessions and the other ones that we held that I talked about earlier, by clicking on the resources icon. There you'll also find links to interactive videos and other helpful tips and tools to help you avoid Medicare card scams. Please take a few minutes to complete our survey. It will automatically appear on your screen in just a moment. Well, thank you and have a great evening.